So one of our favorite strategies out there in real estate investing is using a HELOC. A HELOC to purchase a home, put money down, and even get it fixed, get it through the process as fast as possible. So what is a HELOC and how do you use it? So what comes to mind when you're thinking about a HELOC? Is it a great tool for real estate investing? And like anything, it is a great tool, the perfect tool in the right hands. It's one of the best ways to have money on demand. In other words, money that's always available for your next project, to purchase it, to get it done, to just make the payments. Whatever it is, the HELOC is a great tool. It's a great tool with what we call money buckets. Money buckets are what makes you successful as a real estate investor. That's having available credit that you can access at any time for your real estate project. So what is a HELOC? A HELOC is a home equity line of credit, and they come in all shapes and sizes. They fit on owner-occupied properties. They fit on rental properties. You could even get lines of credit on commercial buildings. But typically what you're going to find is HELOCs on the property you live in or the rentals. So how do you use a home equity line of credit? Use it any way you want to in real estate investing. It's for the money down, the earnest money for a new property. With the right size and the right property, you can even buy a property outright, at auction, through a wholesaler, whatever it is. You could pre-fund everything on your next project, all the orders for the doors, the windows, whatever you have to pre-order. You could pay your contractors. You could pay your interest. You could use this for anything you want and desire for real estate investing. And it acts like a credit card, meaning you have a balance and you could use it, pay it off, or use it. But the best things about a HELOC versus a credit card, it's about a third of the price. So if you have a line of credit, it has $100,000 on there, and you're paying 8% compared to maybe 24%, you just saved yourself $16,000. And that's why we love this. We love credit cards. We love HELOCs when you're filling your bucket. If you want to know what your money buckets is, check the link below. There's a free ebook. It talks about how to properly fund your fix and flips, how to make sure you have the money available to make sure fix and flips go fast, easy, and more profitable. So how do HELOCs work? Typically, they're a second mortgage on a property. They can be first, but typically they're seconds. And they go up to, on owner-occupied, somewhere between 85 and 90%. Depends on your market, depends on the local banks. So to figure out your HELOC and what you qualify for on a rental property, let's just use a rental property as an example. Let's say you have a rental property that's worth $200,000. They're going to allow up to a combined loan to value of 75% of the appraised value. So in this case, we have a $200,000 house and we could go up to 75%. So 75% of 200,000 is 150,000. Now let's say on that property we have a first for 100,000. What that means is we have available for the line of credit $50,000, and that just comes down to the 150,000 that they could go up to, the combined loan to value, minus what's already owed on the property. So in this case, we could get a line of credit for $50,000. And now that $50,000, like we said, could be used for anything. It could be anything that you want to. You could just go move the money over to your checking account, write a check to your contractor, move that money over and pay a bill, pay your interest, whatever it may be. This is the most flexible money you're going to have because you're not going to have ask permission every time you go out and use it or want to use it or even put money down on the next property. And the beautiful thing about HELOCs is it allows you to access the equity of your property, of your portfolio, without selling it, because equity is great when it's being used. So if you want to use the equity that you've built, HELOCs are great because it doesn't make you refinance the current mortgage. Maybe you have a great rate on your current mortgage, or maybe you have a prepay on a DSCR loan. The beautiful thing about HELOCs is it's not going to require you to pay those off. It uses your equity or allows you to tap into your equity by doing a second mortgage, a line of credit, that the only time you're paying the interest is when you're using it. And when you're using it, you should be making more money than it's costing you. That's all about real estate investing, is using other people's money, the leverage, to create more money. And as we talk about in money buckets, it's all about also paying the least amount for that money. So instead of credit cards, move it to lines of credit. Instead of lines of credit, like personal lines of credit, moving it to HELOCs. Always paying the least amount you can for that debt. But it's also using debt to keep your projects moving as fast as possible. The faster you get done with the project, the faster you put the money down so you secure a project. In real estate, speed is important. We want to make sure you have money available, not paying interest on it unless it's making you some money. And that's why we love HELOCs along with business credit cards. So who are the good lenders for real estate investors on HELOCs and non-owners? It's typically your small credit unions or your local credit unions, and regional banks. Your US banks, Wells Fargo's, Chase's, they're not going to lend to your typical real estate investor on rental properties unless you qualify in every sense that they're looking for. But typically the more aggressive banks are local credit unions, small local regional banks that have an appetite for, lines of credit, secured lines of credit. So HELOCs, as we said, great tools, one of our best strategies. And if I was you, I'd go out there and start putting HELOCs on every property you can because it costs you very little, especially if you're using a credit union or a small local regional bank. It might cost you a couple $100 to put a HELOC on a property and have the money available. It's really not going to cost you anything. Maybe they have an annual fee of $99, something like that, but it's not going to cost you a lot to take care of this. And it's always going to be there when that next deal pops up. So having that money just sitting there available when anything pops up, this is where you're going to get those great deals. Not only those great deals, but then you're going to be able to push them through. You're not going to have to wait for escrows. You're not going to have to wait to pay your contractors when they need to. Just one little delay in paying a contractor can cost you months. That's why it's one of our favorite strategies, because it's available money. It is money on demand when you need it, when something comes up that's going to make you more money. We just want to make sure you're using these strategies wisely, which means find a project, use them, pay the money off. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're using these kind of funds to do a project that's going to make you more money and that you're going to be able to wipe out the debt you're creating by, doing this fix and flip, buying this rental, whatever it may be. HELOCs are a great strategy. Every real estate investor should have HELOCs on all the properties that they own, but also manage them correctly. If you have a question on HELOCs, how they work, how the payments are calculated, all those kind of things, just leave a comment below. We'd be glad to answer any questions. Now, HELOCs are one of our favorite strategies, but in what we call money buckets, which is setting yourself up to win in real estate by having the money available to make sure you can, secure that property, put the down payment, make the payments, pay your contractors, keep everything moving as fast as possible. Speed is what makes money in real estate. Doesn't matter if it's to purchase a property or get it done. That's why in money buckets, even if you don't have a property and a HELOC is not going to work, check it out because we go over difference between business cards and personal cards, not only HELOCs, but also OPM or real people's private money, and even just business lines of credit that are unsecured. Check that out because the more you fill that bucket, the easier, more profitable real estate investing will be.